Rise and grind!
Oh.
Yikes.
Ooh. Now that that's settled, where were we?
Oh,
Okay.
You know what? Never mind. It's the future. Who cares about logic? These two are dead after a 1-minute scene anyhow. The next few scenes consist of the grunt team setting out to exterminate the seemingly unstoppable Jason. This gentleman gets caught up in the mix while one of the more interesting settings gets totaled.
I wrecked my stuff, man.
The lack of motivation in these characters' dialogue is incredible. Even Jason's motivation here is skewed.
From what we understand, Jason seems to operate much like a territorial animal. You stay out of his business, aka Camp Crystal Lake, and he'll stay out of yours.
As evidence, in Jason Takes Manhattan, he expresses a great deal of self-control for a murderous slasher surrounded by a sea of innocents. In fact, he only ever attacks those who either directly threaten or challenge him, or those who specifically were caught trespassing in his precious lake.
And here we have Emma Watson, here we have Tommy Jarvis. He's not flipped anymore.
Case in point. So going by this logic, the only person Jason would have any vested interest in going after in Jason X would be Rowan, since she was the only one to have trespassed in Crystal Lake as far as he was aware. Since he was frozen in cryostasis until the expedition team returned to space, for all he knew, no one else had gone on his lawn, so to speak.
Get off my lawn.
I guess what I'm really getting at here is that no one in this movie really seems to have any true motivation behind anything they're doing. I mean, aside from Sneaky Schemer wanting his cash muns, but he's kind of an anomaly here. Jason should just want to kill Rowan and go home. And all the kids should just want to shoot Jason out to the cold embrace of space. But instead, we get this character-breaking madness.
In the next scene, surprise, surprise, Jason escapes, allowing for screen time of the grunt team to get picked off one by one. Unfortunately, there are no deaths as iconic as we've seen in the past.
What are you doing?
With one final jab of the machete, Brodsky is killed, which leaves the rest of our protagonists with no one to protect them.
As they're approaching Solaris, a space station that would have been their safe haven away from Jason, unfortunately, Jason got to their pilot before being able to dock.
I don't want to set the world on fire.
Morale is low, and with good reason.
We're gonna be safe here.
Deep poop, I am terrified.
Shut up!
Beep, beep, I am scared.
What are you doing?
Yeah? What are you doing?
Shh.
Maybe he gave up.
You really think so?
Shh.
Tell us where exactly the no. Oh, you do not. Oh, you. He shushed me. Another one? Yes.
Shh. I don't think he's out there. Why don't you just
Stick your head out and have a peek.
Okay, I understand wanting to create a tense moment between protagonist and antagonist, but at this point in the movie, it's even making this Jason fall asleep. Help me.
While the teenagers get away for the time being, one does not. The whole exchange is not really worth showing, just a call back to them taking his machete away, which was a bad move in the first place. Meanwhile, the teenagers plot to take action. Rowan picking up a gun you would think would be too technologically advanced, considering the time she's from.
They make decent progress in terms of an attempt at an escape, but as expected, the plan gets foiled all too quickly by ya boy when...
I am a robot. I was built to scare you.
Afraid I'm gonna have to hurt you now.
Scientists in the future have studied your ass for centuries.
A rather mundane fight sequence ensues. This is nothing compared to the monstrosity about to emerge.
You did it!
Healing, Brodsky. There is no indication that anyone thought to maybe dispose of Jason's body, maybe burn him to get rid of him. All lore from previous movies seems to be irrelevant, so why not give it a shot? But no, they get in touch with a nearby ship who has agreed to come to their aid.
In an effort to buy some time, a virtual reality is made to trick Jason into thinking he is back home.
Hey, you want a beer?
Or do you want to smoke some pot?
You gotta be kidding me. Brodsky.
A couple on a self-proclaimed Earth 2 think they see a shooting star. Uber Jason's mask floats gently to the bottom of the lake. Boom, it's done. Credits roll. Don't worry about what happened to anybody else, let alone what's going to happen to these poor souls. And thus concludes Jason X. That's it. It's finally over.
And the cycle continues.
Now you may be asking yourself, why does this movie even exist? Well...
So we had a long list of like 8 different scenarios to drop Jason in. Jason in the snow, Jason in the North Pole, in Africa, you know, we just let it go.
Eventually, I said, well, how about Jason in space?
Funny thing is, it's definitely a concept to play around with, but couldn't a setting more fitting to the series be chosen to be explored as opposed to space? Either way, we could go on and on about the various design choices, script choices, but at the end of the day, there is one clip to sum up the true spirit behind the making of Jason X.
Are attached to the Friday the 13th series, you know, and they want something new, they want something better.
Jason X is a really aggressive reinvention where they tried very hard just to have fun.
And you know what? This dude is right. It is fun to put characters in situations to see potential outcomes. Unfortunately with this, it just seems to be flashy with very minimal sustenance.
This is shown throughout the movie with the constant shots of futuristic technology, showcasing CGI imagery, and just trying to make Friday the 13th something it was never meant to be. I understand wanting to make something fresh and new, but if they had taken a different route, they may have found more success.
There was clearly a lot of effort and passion behind this project, and despite our criticisms, I have to give props to everyone involved. It takes a lot of guts to take a well-known franchise and spin it in another direction. Unfortunately, this film just aged really quickly.
Well, now that this is over, it's time to get this behemoth back to where he came from.
Aw, can't we keep him?
You can't just disrupt a local ecosystem like that, Minette. Don't you know what happens when you take an apex predator out of its system? It all falls apart.
Yes, you're right. All right. Let's get you home, buddy. I mean, if it's any consolation, your other clothes are all clean now. Let's get you home.
Okay, bye-bye. Bye, Jason. Have a good trip. No, you gotta go. You gotta go home. Okay, let's go.
Do you think he's gonna be alright out there?
Yeah, I think he'll be fine. He's a big boy. He can go home to his mom. But Minette, he knows where you live now. What if he comes back? It'll be fine.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching. I know this is a newish kind of video type to see on my channel, and I really hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, we would love to do more in the future. And I would like to say a giant thank you to Highwind Valor, aka Miss Leviana here.
Thank you for, willing to collaborate with me and all that, and I'm really excited. If you want to see more, tell us and we'll make more, and we'll be able to do more stuff together. Yeah!
Yes, and now that you know Leviana and you know Minette, if you're interested, we've got more backstory, we've got more adventures that could go on, so if that's something you do want to see, please feel free to let us know and we can make that happen for you, because this was really fun to make.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of memes, a lot of dreams, good times with Jason, good times with Leviana and Minette. Excited to do more.
Alright, well that's all we have time for today because we have been shooting for hours. So, thank you again for watching and we will catch you all later.
Bye-bye!
Bye-bye!